tail end here, and you all have been very patient. Any questions or comments? Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, maybe I'm missing it. This is the first time I've come to this meeting. But where's the pedestrian through passageway? Because I can't really tell from that.
Yeah, well, we're in this building right here. We're kind of right in that spot. The pedestrian passageway would be right through that grand hall that's right out here. And if you walk to the end of that hall, it dives down the historic underpass that went into the rail yard. That would be extended right through underneath the railroad, and you would come out. Now, click back a couple.
Let's go back to the plan.
Yeah. Well, right there. Back. There it is, popping on through. So this is the end of the canal, the Bricktown Canal, as it is right now. What is it? Waterfall fountain. Is right here, right now. And so it would pop out right there. And the critical thing that this includes is, again, these bridges that allow you, right now, you have to walk all the way down here and then say, oh my gosh, I got to walk all the way back here to get to that upper level of the canal. What we want to do is make sure that that is a connection straight on through to activate that end of the canal. And hopefully, as Alan said, activate that lower level of the canal, because there's a lot of opportunity at the basement levels of those areas that are not being taken advantage of. Yes, ma'am.
Here it is. This is that connection underneath from inside the building all the way through coming out at the fountain.
It seems like a lot of the stairs and the elevators that go to the lower level, they're all very small and they don't seem very inviting, and it just seems like maybe if they were larger or more open, it'd be more inviting to encourage people to go down that lower level. But right now, I don't want to go on that lower elevator that's down.
Right.
You know, it does make me want to go.
It needs a grand staircase. Right.
The ones outside.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Can you go back to that floor plan that just shown the corridors?
You weren't quite good.
Yeah, I really want to amplify the lady's comment. Are those bits of that central corridor, is that what's the existing tunnels at the moment?
Right.
Because I would agree that tunnel, to really activate that linkage, needs to be as broad as possible.
Right.
We already have those very narrow walkways on the existing WPA bridges, and that really needs to be a lot wider and a lot open. Also, then you have the ramps up to the platforms now. You know, that's also, that area might need to be widened out, because you also often have a lot of people congregating, deciding if that's their train. You also get into questions of, well, you want that corridor to be as open as possible to people walk through as well as traffic. So what happens if you need to have ticket barriers to get up into the platforms? So you're going to need more of an area off the corridor there to go up to the platform.
Okay. You'll notice we kept the historical width right here, but then where that tunnel that ends right now, we started expanding it out to allow light and energy to get in there. So we yes, sir.
There's no reason we couldn't widen it.
Yeah.
Can we widen it to the width of that fountain and just make it, I know this might be extreme, but I mean, right now you have these little bitty corridors under the bridges, and it just seems like coming from downtown to Bricktown, I think that gives an awesome opportunity to make that more inviting. And I realize that is historic and everything, but this is going to be such a big project, and if it's going to be such a central hub, we need more than that.
Okay. I think we can say it's not historic. There may be some sentimental value behind it. You pay for it, but we're actually showing that now to be changed and enlarged and take out the walls that are kind of inhibiting the view of this entrance and lower it. Now that wouldn't have to happen. And then also the lights, we have some very wide bridges. These are actually about 20 feet wide as well.
I promise I'll just say one more thing. Again, I agree with that. You can think of any major European railway station. Think of Brussels, any major German railway station with elevated platforms. You've got a lot of retail space in there, very broad corridors, a very inviting area to be walking through, even though you're underground, supposedly, for quite a while. And I'd give that idea of having retail, extensive retail, a much broader corridor. I'd give that a lot of thought as we go forward.
Or is line retail along this corridor?
Yeah.
That's certainly a possibility. Obviously, that price comes at a very high premium since you're going to be excavating under existing rail lines. But I like that idea.
Having it wider would also make it feel more safe.
Sure.
Sure.
Absolutely.
And lighting is very important.
We absolutely support what you're saying. That dimension, just so you know, is 20 feet wide, and out here is probably closer to 30, 35, 40 feet, just so scale. So, you know. Yes, sir.
First, I want to say I really like what you did there. That's right. The idea that as far as improving retail and making the pedestrian space more attractive, that space between the train hall and Gaylord, which some of the outside views where the trees are, that overhang extended a little bit, and those big shops along that, people to be more comfortable walking by storefront windows and kind of a sterile wall in urban settings. Other things that potentially work like a zip car or any kind of little car place where we might need to design. Fort Worth is right there.
Sure. Good.
Yeah, just as a point of explanation, we initially had this wall further out closer to the street because we like to kind of have a building edge at the street that really defines the pedestrian space. But when we met with the preservationists, their concern was the view of this entrance from this intersection, so we pulled it back a little bit to accommodate that. It still gave us enough space for the program, but I think there are ways to activate this space, like you said. Maybe it's retail vendor parts. There's other things that could happen out there, or maybe even small retail pads might even work if they're low scale.
Just want to internet over, but talk about reconfiguring the downtown grid and Gaylord might not serve the same role it does today as any city engineers suggest anything like that by changing it.
We have thought that essentially what they're talking about changing is taking a 6-lane road to 4-lane road, and we've accommodated that here by saying that we're going to take this outside lane and make it light rail. That way, this would be the light rail station. And then on this side, we pushed everything out one lane, so we essentially have the sheltered bus drop-off. So this would be your bus rapid transit drop-off. This might be taxi, other drop-off areas. So we've accommodated that per the plan to narrow the Gaylord down and make it really more of a pedestrian option.
But that brings up a good point. Let me, just so you all know, we have interacted with Project 180 staff in the city. They are absolutely open to all these ideas. And everybody we've talked to, ODOT, BNSF, everybody we've talked to that would touch this or be affected by this are appreciative that Oklahoma City and this region are thinking this far out. They don't see anything that we are planning right now that they can't live with. I mean, that's not their words, those are my words. So we've tried very hard to interact and more than anything, not say that that's what EK Gaylord is going to look like, 30 years from now, but at least get in the conversation that let's not preclude it from looking like that 30 years from now. So the same with ODOT and the railroads up here, the same with Amtrak, the same with Intercity Bus. Everybody is on the same page that say, look, let's just not paint ourselves into a corner to where we can't do what we need to do because we didn't have a conversation early